Hey all, welcome back. January 7th, 2025. Hope everybody's doing great. I can tell you I am stoked because I just got done kicking COVID's ass after it kicked my ass for about a week. If there's a silver lining to being sick, it's that we are reminded how good it is to be healthy. So I'm so happy to be back on my feet, feel better, 100%. Happy to be back at work because I really enjoy what I get to do during the winter months, although that does come with some long days. So the other day, I finished up a little early and I was going to be able to take an earlier train back home, which would give me an extra hour at home to relax, hang out, spend time with the family and such. So I was pretty happy about that. So we're on the train home and I'm into my notebook writing notes about a scene in the novel I'm writing. And I keep hearing this announcement over the PA system. And it's easy for me to ignore because it's in Japanese and I can just kind of block it out without having to think too much. But I kept hearing this announcement and it was not the normal announcement for, the next station or the next whatever. So I listened and it turns out that there was a fire up along the tracks or up near the tracks and we were going to have to stop and wait until they cleared out whatever was going on. Now, imagine a train full of people trying to get home from work where you were from. How would people be reacting, right? Here in Japan, people basically don't react, not outwardly anyway. The train stopped and we were told we were going to have to wait. We don't know how long. And people just continued reading their books, looking at their phones, sleeping. And that was it. And that very calm reaction stems from something the Japanese called gaman. And gaman is a way of dealing with things. It's a way of tolerating things, just saying, okay, well, it is what it is. And Japanese are very good at that. It creates a very calm, very polite society. But it also seems kind of passive because I've been at a red light a couple times and someone in front of us, when the light turns green, they're not paying attention. They're sitting there looking at their phones probably. What would you do? Honk the horn, right? That's what I would do. I honk the horn. My wife is like, don't do that. Don't do that. Just relax. They'll figure it out eventually and then we can all go. But that's not the way some of us work, right? So it's an interesting difference between how people in different places will react to the same situation. But on that train, there was really nothing any of us could do. We could either wait till the train started moving again in an hour, 2 hours, we didn't know. Or, people had the option. We were at a train station, so people could get off the train and catch a cab home if they wanted to. But aside from that, there was not much to do. And it gave me this gives an opportunity to talk about something that I've been learning about and trying to incorporate basically into how I deal with things. And it's called Stoicism or Stoic philosophy. And there's a guy by the name of Ryan Holiday. He's got a bunch of stuff online about Stoicism and Stoic philosophy. Great stuff. So look him up if you have a chance, Ryan Holiday. But basically, this Stoic philosophy is based on the idea that a well lived life stems from acting with certain characteristics, with certain virtues, uh, courage or fortitude, justice, temperance, patience, wisdom. So, whatever life throws at you, how you deal with it determines the kind of life that you're going to be living and the kind of person you are. And this philosophy is 2,000 years old and it was practiced by Roman emperors like Marcus Aurelius. And but it applies today. Things they talked about 2,000 years ago apply today. Things they say how to deal with a certain situation. You read this stuff and it's like, yeah, I had that situation at work last week or that happened at home yesterday. It's pretty amazing. It's good stuff. Stoic philosophy. But the one thing that I've gotten out of that, among the many things, is the idea that there are certain things you can control and certain things you can't. So, being on the train, we didn't know how long we'd be there, but it's nothing life threatening. It's nothing that serious. And most of the stuff we encounter in life really isn't. Of some things are, but day to day stuff that can get under our skin or just get us all emotional and bent out of shape, it's not that big a deal. And I had a chance actually recently to give this. put this to the test with my son. My oldest son spent a couple years, kindergarten, first grade in the United States. So he's got a really good command of the English language. It's interesting to watch him. You know, his wiring is all there. He's definitely bilingual. And he was taking this English proficiency exam called the ACAN. And he was taking the June EQ, which means pre-level 1, which is the second highest level you can take. Now, his English is great, but he's got to study for this exam because I looked at his study materials and I'm looking at some of his questions and the reading comprehension. I'm like, good luck. Challenging stuff. But he went in, took the test, passed it, and then that led to the second half of the exam, which was an interview. And he prepared for that. They say expect certain kinds of questions, expect to have to talk about certain topics. And he went in and had his interview, and he came out and he was shocked almost. He said that was really tough. And it was tough because the interviewer was from, I don't remember, maybe the UK or maybe Australia. I'm not sure. But the interviewer had his accent and he wasn't really familiar with, and he couldn't understand a few of the things they were saying. He had to ask them to repeat things again and again. And it kind of, it scared him. Basically, for the next couple of days, he's like, he said again and again, I'm worried about, how I did. I don't know if I passed. And he was, I guess, under a lot of pressure. And finally, he one evening he just broke down. And he's like, God, I'm so worried about this. I tried, but I just didn't go well, and I don't know what's going to happen. And a couple years ago, as a father, I would have said, well, hey, you did your best. That's all you can do, which is true. But what I said to him was, look, you studied, you prepared, you did your part. You took care of the things that you could control. You did the study and you put in the time. You did whatever you had to do to be prepared. Whatever happens with the interviewer, if the interviewer is not very clear in their speech, if the interviewer just doesn't doesn't make sense to you, or ask questions that you can't answer confidently, that's out of your control, bud. That's out of your control. You did what you needed to do. You did your part. The rest, there's not a whole lot we can do. And I think that resonated with him. I think it made sense. And I think that was able to give him a little bit more confidence in himself, a little sense of like agency. So he knew that, yeah, he did his part. He did what he could. So if it didn't work out, then it would be a little easier to take. As it is, he passed, and big relief for him, and we were all happy for that. Um, so from this stoicism, that's just one example of how I, have been able to take these lessons, these ideas from stoicism, and you know, use them to make a situation or make some small part of some day better. Does it make me a great dad? Of course not. But maybe makes me a little bit better of a dad. And that's the key. And all of us are out here trying to figure things out, and none of us have it all figured out. But if we're trying to be a little bit better of a father, a little bit better of a spouse, better friend, just a better person, stoicism is something that we can add to our arsenal that I think is a big help. Can bring a lot of good things. But more than anything else this year, I hope 2025 brings health and happiness to you guys. I'll talk to you next time.